Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Welcome if you are new. We've often heard President Trump talk about imposing tariffs on foreign countries during his campaign trail, as well as on various news outlets, all to lower the national debt crisis, as well as put money back into the American citizens' pockets. Well, guess what, you guys? The time is now.
God knows 31 reasons you were called to be a woman of God, virtuous woman he needs. God knows 31 reasons. 31 reasons why. God knows 31 reasons you were called to be a woman of God.
This would be incredible for each of us, and primarily us as a nation, really digging us out of this $1 trillion national debt that we've incurred over decades. Right? This will be an awesome thing to do for each of us. And I believe it's one of the major key factors of President Trump's campaign. When he mentioned this, it's like, whoa, it's like mind blowing. It really, it's one thing to say America first, but it's another when you actually have the ideas and know what it takes to put America first and put the people, or have an understanding that you are serving the people and the people are not serving you. Truly, Trump to me is not a politician. He's definitely not that. I believe truly he's just a patriot that really cares about America and the people that serve in it. Let's go to whitehouse.gov. I'm just going to read you his presidential action that he submitted on January 20th. In 2017, my administration pursued trade and economic policies that put the American economy, the American worker, and our national security first. This spurred an American revitalization marked by stable supply chains, massive economic growth, historically low inflation, a substantial increase in real wages and real median household wealth, and a path toward eliminating destructive trade deficits. Addressing unfair and unbalanced trade, the Secretary of Commerce, in consultation with the Secretary of the Treasury and the United States Trade Representative, shall investigate the causes of our country's large and persistent annual trade deficits in goods, as well as the economic and national security implications and risk resulting from such deficits, and recommend appropriate measures such as a global supplemental tariff or other policies to remedy such deficits. The Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with the Secretary of Commerce and the Secretary of Homeland Security, shall investigate the feasibility of establishing and recommend the best methods for designing, building, and implementing an external revenue service to collect tariffs, duties, and other foreign trade related revenues. This is awesome. This is absolutely exactly what our country needs. This is what is going to spring us forth. This is what's going to get us out of debt primarily. And then most importantly, we're going to be able to obtain beyond the American dream. Trump is calling this the golden age of America. And I truly believe that this particular policy primarily is what's going to really thrust us forward. I am super excited about this. I, like you, am following this pretty closely. So stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to be definitely making sure we break down what this looks like and how he is getting rid of the Internal Revenue Service and now having the ERS, which is the External Revenue Service. And as I read, that is for collecting tariffs, duties, and other foreign trade related revenues. So it makes plenty of sense. And listen here as Trump breaks it down further for us.
America is going to be very rich again, and it's going to happen very quickly. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before. Do you know the United States in 1870 to 1913, all tariffs, and that was the richest period in the history of the United States, relatively speaking. In other words, relatively. And they set up the Great Tariff Commission of 1887. And this commission had one function: what to do with all the money that we took in. It was so enormous that they had no idea. It was a blue ribbon committee. It was set up 1887. And what to do with all of the money that we had. And again, Teddy Roosevelt was a beneficiary because when McKinley was killed, he took over this vast sum of money and he did all of those national parks and all of the other things. And I'm not knocking him, but he was given a vast amount of money. And that was all made through tariffs. We had no income tax. The income tax came in 1913. As I said in my speech last week, instead of taxing our citizens to enrich foreign nations, we should be tariffing and taxing foreign nations to enrich our citizens. Does that make sense?
Trump's right. During 1872 and before the Revenue Act of 1913, we were rarely, if very small, being taxed at all. Our government funds primarily came from tariffs on import, public land, and excise taxes, as well as from wine, beer, liquor, and tobacco. So we were not being taxed as a nation prior to the Revenue Act of 1913, which Democrat lawmakers such as Representative, I believe his name is Underwood, as well as President Wilson, they enacted the Revenue Act that caused us to begin to be taxed. And even at that time, it was just up to about 5%, depending on your income bracket. This is a phenomenal, ideal situation for us to go back to, and would really truly dig us out of the $1 trillion debt that we have incurred throughout the years. Trump calling for and implementing a reassessment of this taxation and of our taxation revenue, our spending habits, and really redirecting the attention to imposing tariffs on foreign nations is what we absolutely need. It's time out for paying for other countries, paying for other people, paying for other wars that we didn't start, that we're not involved in, and just basically playing Superman, super America, trying to take care of everybody besides ourselves, our own land, our own buildings, and our own families. And so I am so 110% behind this, him getting rid of all of the various federal agencies that have not served us, but has just cost us taxpayers more money and more time and just more waste. And so if you're like me, I don't mind him getting rid of a lot of these things, or calling for more of a requirement for you in order to have this luxury, right, that the taxpayer has to pay for. I don't mind that because, I don't want to be a person that I'm working hard doing everything I know to do, and then there's someone else just getting a free ride, right? Whether that be an American or a foreign national, right? So I am 110% behind this, and I can't help but think about the biblical principle of stewardship. This is exactly what I see in this, and it comes out of Luke 14:28, as well as Proverbs 21:5, where it simply talks about knowing how to manage your funds, right? Knowing how to do what you're supposed to do with what God has blessed you with, knowing how to manage it, know how to put it in the proper area so you can prosper, right? And so this is an ideal example of stewardship, and I just appreciate it. It's a breath of fresh air. It's truly about putting America first, and I'm all here for it. I'm here for the golden age. So please let me know what you think. Put your comments in the comments below. Let's discuss. Let me hear your thoughts. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.